Well, this is Buster Bruce, and I'm talking with Johnny Hill, who, like I said before, not realizing we were wrong. There's people in 3 or 4 states, and most of the Panhandle that know your name if it comes up in cowboy circles. And you and I both know that, sure enough, cowboy circles are pretty small.
Yes, sir.
Sometimes.
Yes, sir.
And,
they are.
I just wanted to kind of get you to kind of tell your story and how you started, and
Well,
the times he's at the ranches. And
I grew up on a Sandyland farm over here south of Headley. My dad was a hard worker and taught me to work hard. Graduated from high school in 1970, went to college a year. Was supposed to went to A&M to be go to veterinary school, and our math program in high school was weak, and I was going to have trouble making it, so I come back to Clarendon College, went 1 year, and got married the next. And I'll say this, that's probably the luckiest thing I ever did. I got a really good woman the first time and managed to keep her so far.
Well, that's a good thing. How many years?
47.
47, Johnny. Golly dang.
But she's put up with a lot of bull.
Cowboy ways.
A lot of, well, I went, after I married, I worked over here at feedlot for about 11 months. Didn't have any horses, was riding horses for the public, and rode some really Lulus, First time I come close to getting killed was over there. Horse slung me down, hung my foot in the stirrup, and was spinning, kicking at me. And I tied this horse's foot up for 6 weeks to keep him from kicking me while I was saddling him. He's a mean rascal. You can lean off him and open the gate and he'd bite at you. He's an ornery rascal. And the good Lord took care of me there. He never kicked me. And I remember twice looking right up at his belly, him spinning, kicking at me.
That's a miracle right there.
And I finally got a hold of a bridle rein and got his head pulled around. When I got him stopped, I was laying right under his chin, and normally he'd paw you, but I don't know, it scared him, I guess. He just got down on his belly and shook, and while he's down there, I kicked that stirrup off my foot with my other foot. That's the first time the good Lord bailed me out.
What kind of stirrups was he riding in?
3-inch calf roping stirrups. And I later on went to round iron oxbows, and have had every kind of wreck in the world, never hung one of them, But anyway, I left there, I went back to college, and one day driving around.
I hope you can edit that out.
Driving around between classes, I drove up to Ashtola at the horse farm. Burl Holler was working up there. You're in the hole there.
I'm just trying to get around where I can kind of see instead of the camera. Am I clear?
I don't know, I guess.
Okay.
Anyway, I asked Burl, y'all need any help? Yeah, he said, we needed you last week. So I went to work for him up there. He was a horse trainer, and we stand in 2 studs. I drove from Headley in an old 60 model Chevrolet pickup up there every day when I wasn't in class, and worked up there 2 years and 4 months, and the camp come open down there at Sandy Camp. And Frank, of course, I'd been going to the ranch some and was riding some young horses along, and Frank took a liking to me. He was a manager at the time.
This is Frank.
Frank Derrick, yeah. He wanted Bobby Boston was Miss Lewis's nephew, and he was assistant manager, and he wanted Bobby to move me to Sandy, so I moved down there and stayed there 26 years. And as far as I was concerned, it was a paying hobby. I loved it. We made more horse tracks probably anybody. We brand from the middle of March till the 4th of July, nearly every day somewhere, We neighbored with a lot of people. We'd brand between 8,000 and 10,000 calves a year.
How big was this ranch, John?
Lewis's was probably 125,000 acres. They had about 2,500 cows and run 2,000 or 3,000 yearlings through the summer, something that they weaned.
Yeah.
At one time I had 11 Cowboys, but Frank was the wisest man I ever knew. he could chew you out royally, and it'd take you a week to realize it. I mean, he was very good at what he said. But in the fall of the year, it'd take a lot longer to get through the works. Sometime in late August, he'd call all the neighbors and see when they wanted their shipping dates. And he would put a worksheet together, 2 or 3 pages, and you knew on what day where you was going, and you could kind of plan your horses
around that.
You know. If you needed to be on a good horse that day, you probably needed to ride a good horse that day. But there was scattered enough. I mean, like I said, we traded work with everybody, and it was scattered enough from Pease River to Red River. You could swap. If you got like too muddy at the roads, you could go to Turkey Creek and swap a day. You know, and never have to miss a work. And this would go on from the 1st September till Christmas, and then they'd break a week or so, and then 2 or 3 weeks into January. We made a lot of horse tracks, and I was always, of course, I like riding young horses, and I was always riding one, and I never would let anybody drop me off, or I'd ask them to not drop me off, because you get dropped off on a young horse and him fresh, he's pretty apt to do something stupid.
That's right.
Run off or try to buck you off or something, you know. And
well, from headquarters there at the Lewis, did y'all trot out? I mean.
Yeah, Frank didn't believe in hauling. You haul to the camp and eat breakfast. I mean, we might leave Sandy at 3 o'clock.
Yeah. Get
to Turkey Creek 4:30, 4 o'clock, and eat breakfast, and might trot 10 miles before we got light enough to see.
That's kind of what I would just kind of tell people. I mean, they don't know.
You go off in the dark, and it's so dark you can't even see your horse's ears, and him humping up and grabbing himself, and it gets pretty exciting sometimes.
Right.
And I've heard some really good bronc rides I couldn't see.
That's right.
Then you wind up having so once in a while you'd have to chase a loose horse in the dark, you know.
Somebody maybe a moaning and groaning just a little bit, maybe.
Yeah.
I mean,
we had one guy work for the ranch who was several years older than me, and he could ride a bronc for a long ways, but he'd give out and then he'd fall off. I mean, I guess he'd get cramps or something, but he could ride one pretty good. But after a while, he'd have to quit him. He was a good guy, good hand, named Billy Farley. But they had some super good hands.